I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there right now just to get it out of the way. Bioshock is amazing. From graphics to gameplay and everything in between, it is a technical masterpiece that not only rivals, but surpasses most, if not all, recent movies. And I'm looking at you, Delta Farce.
What in the name of Siegfried and Roy are you fellas doing?
Don't ask. Don't tell.
Bioshock revolves around Andrew Ryan, a wealthy industrialist in the 1940s who has a belief that your possessions should belong to you and not the government and not God. It's with this premise that he creates Rapture, an underwater city built with the purpose of escaping the world in the aftermath of World War II. He built the city with the hopes that people would be able to practice science and research without the restraints of morality. This also proved to be Rapture's greatest flaw in that, as soon as it started, it began to crumble. The player discovers much of the background story within the first few minutes of the game.
The artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
Oddly enough, your plane crashes right next to the lighthouse that leads to Rapture, and you're kind of just thrown into the action. No tutorial, no preemptive in the beginning text or anything. You're just kind of dropped in. Almost immediately when you enter Rapture, you're introduced to the most significant part of Bioshock, plasmids. Plasmids are genetic modifications that you inject into your body and allow you to do things like electrocute people or light them on fire, even use telekinesis to where you can take their hat off their head and throw it at them. You can even do things like unleash bees from your arms, all of which is really, really crazy and looks amazing. And while plasmids are more your aggressive genetic enhancements, tonics take the more passive approach, doing things such as raising your melee attack power, giving you more health, or the ability to turn you invisible when you're standing still. Along with any of the 6 different weapons and all 3 ammo types for each gun, the different combinations make for an endless number of gameplay styles, all of which are unique to Bioshock and feel extremely satisfying to implement. The enemies in Rapture are also unique to Bioshock. The enemies consist of 4 main groups. Splicers are the primary enemy, basically mutated humans. The splicers come in a couple different flavors also. Some just carry around wrenches, some are actually using plasmids, the same as you, some are carrying around guns, and some are just plain crazy.
Is it someone new?
The second types of enemies are security bots and turrets, both of which can be hacked by getting up close to them, usually with the help of a couple plasmids. Hacking comes in the form of a little mini-game where you rearrange the pipes trying to get from point A to point B. And while this is kind of fun and unique at first, it does get old after a while to the point where you're just hoping to find some kind of auto-hack tool to use. The third and fourth type go hand in hand. They're the Little Sisters and the Big Daddies. Little Sisters are these little girls who go around collecting Adam from dead bodies. Adam is this genetic material carried inside all bodies that acts as a currency to buy new tonics and new plasmids. Your object is to get this Adam so you can use it yourself, but the only way to get the Adam is from the Little Sisters, and the only way to get to the Little Sisters is through the Big Daddy. Big Daddies are these huge roaming mini-bosses in every single level of the game. They are built like tanks, and they deal a lot of damage when they hit you. So you have to take everything you have in your arsenal and throw it at them. Fighting the Big Daddies is probably one of the most fun parts of Bioshock. Because they are built like tanks, you can't just go at them head on. You have to set traps and think about the way you're going to deal with them. And really nothing is more satisfying than watching a Big Daddy bolt towards you, hit a bunch of trap wires you set, and just fall at your feet. After dealing with the big daddies, there's nothing to stop you from getting to the little sister, and this is the point where you have a moral dilemma to face. You can either harvest the atom from the little sister, effectively killing her, or you can rescue the little sister from her possessed state, which gives you slightly less atom, but it ends up paying off in the long run. While big daddies are the reoccurring mini-bosses in the game, there are some big bosses in the game as well, none of which are too much more challenging than big daddies to take down, but fun nonetheless. As you no doubt have already noticed, the look of the game is absolutely brilliant. Rapture has a kind of 1940s Art Deco style about it, which is absolutely brilliant. The graphics are pretty amazing as well, as you would expect from a game powered by Unreal 3. Everything is rendered beautifully, and excluding a few minor hitches or two, everything runs buttery smooth. The most breathtaking thing about the graphics would probably be the water. Almost every single level is flooded in areas, ceilings are dripping, and you're stepping in puddles, and it just all looks terrific. Aside from the graphics, the one thing that stands out about this game is the audio. Starting with the music, an orchestral score written by Gary Scheinman, whose past works included Magnum P.I., The A-Team, and the Destroy All Humans games. This, mixed with songs from the 1940s era, including artists like Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, and Billie Holiday, give this game a sound that is unlike anything before it. The weapons and plasmids also sound terrific, and other miscellaneous sound effects in the game are unique and feel very fluid in the world of Rapture. The voice acting in this game is top-notch. I would argue that it's better than most animated films I've seen recently, which is a good thing because you hear quite a bit of dialogue through the audio logs you find in the game.
Another New Year's, another night alone. I'm out.
When listening to the audio logs, it becomes quite apparent that no one in Rapture has kept their sanity during the Civil War.
What can I do with this one, Aphrodite? She won't stay still! I want to make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong! That was too fat! This was too tall! This was too symmetrical! And now, what's this, guys? An intruder! He's ugly! Ugly!
Although Bioshock has no multiplayer online or otherwise, the game does have a significant replay value. The number of combinations in weapons, plasmids, and tonics provide for several different variations of gameplay, which allows you to play through a particular part of the game several times and never see the same thing twice. The game also sports two endings depending on the moral choices you make throughout the game. Running through the game twice also has its achievement perks, but I would recommend running through the game twice anyway, as with any movie with a strange plot twist. Seeing or playing it a second time will allow you to discover things you didn't notice the first time around. In conclusion, the story, gameplay, voice acting, and the way everything blends together creates a sense that you are actually in Rapture, that you're actually in an underwater city trapped in the 1940s. It is an immersive first-person shooter that sucks you in at hello and doesn't let you go until you finish it. You owe yourself to play this game, either through rental or otherwise, but don't deny yourself the ability to play this game. Now, would you kindly stop this review and pick up Bioshock?
What are you waiting for? Go!